As I've discussed already, Microsoft have been doing pretty damn well for themselves these last few months, as they of course have been beating the PlayStation 4 for 3 months in a row now, which is a pretty nice streak in comparison to the PS4 dominance that we've seen for most of this console generation. And of course they're not just doing well in terms of sales, they're also garnering a lot of goodwill. For example, Xbox Play Anywhere is great, backwards compatibility, all of this. But now we have some comments from Michael Pachter, who of course needs no introduction. He is that famous analyst from Wedbush Securities, and he doesn't necessarily think that this will translate into higher sales for Microsoft this holiday season. Now, he does say that he does think that Microsoft will do well, but he will think Sony will take this holiday period. And he says, quote, "Strong is relative. I actually think that the announcement of the PS4 Pro probably froze some people and caused them not to buy PS4 Slim because they are waiting. I think Sony will still dominate in non-English speaking countries because they have a better brand. If you're up in France or Italy or Spain or Germany playing a PS1, then you love the PlayStation brand. And Xbox really didn't have a successful console until the Xbox 360, and they gained some ground, but I think they lost at least half of that with the Xbox One. So Sony is good. And the fact that the PS4 Slim costs less than the Xbox One S, so I think that Sony has a huge advantage over Microsoft for the next few months. So yes, I think Microsoft will sell a lot, I think they will consider this a very successful year, and yes, I think PlayStation will outsell Xbox." Now, whether or not you agree with Michael Pachter's comments, this is actually something I touched on myself when I discussed the success of the Xbox One versus the PS4 in my sales video. Do check it out if you're interested. Do go through quite a bit of detail into the MPD data. Now, as I pointed out in that video, I'm not an analyst, I don't have, documents of financials or anything like that, but what I do know, of course, the PS4 Pro is out soon. That is a very valid point from Michael, is that, if you already own a PS4, why would you buy a Slim? There's no point. The Pro is out next month, and the Slim, of course, came out last month, so all you've got to do is just hold on for a couple of months and you'll get a more powerful machine. Of course, the Slim has no improvements to the hardware. It has some nice improvements to the casing. Of course, a few of the buttons have been rearranged, and you have a couple of USB ports, stuff like that. But, if you already own a PS4, there's not really much motivation to buy one because the Pro is coming out a couple of months later. If you don't own a PS4 and you don't want the Pro because it's too expensive or whatever, then yeah, the Slim might be a nice option, but obviously the Xbox One S is winning out there because, well, it has a 4K Blu-ray player and does actually improve the hardware and yada yada yada. So to be honest, I think the biggest factor of why I actually agree with Michael here is the fact that a lot of the PS4 owners were just waiting for the Pro, so why would they buy the Slim? There's absolutely no reason to do so. So the sales that Sony have been getting are either people who don't want the Pro as already PS4 owners, or perhaps people who don't own a PS4 but were convinced by the different proposition of the Slim. So I think the holiday period of when the Pro is released is going to be the real teller if Microsoft can continue this streak or not. I'm not saying they're going to get pummeled because, well, they're not. They're not going to. They're Microsoft, they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll do well, but I think with the release of the Pro, and of course the Scorpio's out next year, so we might see a flip of that next year as well. Sony is going to take this holiday, in my personal speculative opinion. Again, no crystal ball, no inside info, just based on my opinions based on the release dates of the Pro. As I said though, I think it'd be really interesting to see not only what happens this holiday, but also next holiday as well, because when the Scorpio comes out next year, they're going to have more power and hopefully the right price tag to go along with it. So I think Microsoft are kind of playing the long game here a little bit. Of course, Sony have kind of jumped the gun and taken this chance to get a year lead on Microsoft here, but they might just make up for it when the Scorpio comes out. We just don't know. But again, I do kind of agree with him that I think the Pro is going to be the thing this Christmas, but of course I could be entirely wrong. This is all speculation, so do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It does help out a great deal and is very appreciated. I will see you next time.